Hey everyone, number 32 on my list of 100 greatest songs of all time is Jesus, etc. by Wilco. Have you heard of the Mandela Effect? Most of you probably have. I'll just read out what it actually means and then we can kind of understand why I'm waffling about it. So, it's a phenomenon where large groups of people share the exact same false memory of a past event or detail. Coined in 2009 by Fiona Broom, it originated from the widespread incorrect belief that former South African President Nelson Mandela died in prison during the 80s. Um, that's a mad kind of idea to me because I remember him, his walk from the prison. It's a massive memory in my head. I was in my grandparents' older house in Ravensdale at the time, and it was on the TV just there. Whatever we were doing as kids, knocking around, it was there, and we understood that there was something was happening. We didn't understand the scale of the matter, but we definitely understood that a big event was happening. And then I remember that Nelson Mandela concert where they did a standing ovation for him when he came out, and it was like 15 minutes or something. It was crazy. So for people to think he died in prison is kind of, to me, it's mad, but obviously it's something that people think, and that's where the Mandela Effect is coined. So why I bring it up, Jesus Etc. was released on Tango Foxtrot Hotel by Wilco in 2002. Now, it was released on the 29th of September 2002, okay? The lyrics in this song, which is the most important thing of what I'm talking about, is, hold on, oh my god, why don't I ever have these things lined up? So there's a line in this song, the chorus, in this song is: tall buildings shake, voices escape, singing sad songs tuned to chords, strum down your cheeks, bitter melodies turning your orbit around. In the bridge, voices whine, skyscrapers are scraping together, your voice is smoking, last cigarettes are all you can get, turning your orbit around. So the idea was that Jeff Tweedy had written this song about 9/11. This album, like I said, came out 18 days after 9/11. He had written this song well before it. So people, when I talk about the Mandela Effect with regards to this song, is people obviously think that this album and song came out before, they believe that it came out before 9/11 and that he had somehow seen it, or he had predicted some sort of catastrophic event, and some believe that he wrote it about 9/11. So both cases can be the Mandela Effect because neither are actually true. Jeff Tweedy, by the way, is one of the great American songwriters, particularly of the last 30, 40 years. Wilco are a band that have often been described as the American Radiohead because of their continuing switching of genres and what they're trying to do with their music and their albums. And this was my introduction to them, to be honest, and it didn't come in 2002. It came a little bit later than that, and this was the first song I remember hearing of Wilco. It may not have been the first one I heard by them, but it's definitely the one that I noted was by Wilco. And it's the truth, like, how would you describe something that feels like it was always there, but like some of these songs on this list, and as I go further in, it'll even be more songs on this list that just felt like they've always been written and they've always been there for us to hear, because that's how brilliant they are. There's this little sprinkle of genius in these songs. The chords on this song, so he plays a capo on the 5th fret on this one. So it's A minor, E minor. Jesus, don't cry. You can rely on me, honey. You can combine anything you want. So that's the choruses. What I love about the verse is the descending chord pattern. So it's tall buildings shake, Voices escape, singing sad, sad songs, tuned to chords, strung down your cheeks. Feel a melody, turning your orbit around. It's so gorgeous that, like, from those verses into the chorus, it's such an amazingly written song. I love the fact that it's up quite high. Like, I struggle to sing it, but when it's up in the 5th fret, there's something like to copy a word I just read about, like Van Morrison in the last video I put up. It's ethereal kind of sounding. Then he goes into the bridge. Sorry. Voices one. Skyscrapers are scraping together your voice. You're smoking last cigarettes, all you can get, turning your orbit around. Last cigarettes, all you can get, turning your orbit around. Beautiful, beautiful. Last cigarettes are all you can get, turning your orbit around. He repeats those lines as he's closing out. And to me, it reads as something like the collapse of your world rather than their world. And I'm not saying that like it's a breakdown as such, but it's kind of, there's a, what would you say, like a decline in your way of living, and what's going on around you is kind of collapsing, and maybe people are passing away, or there's, you've lost your job, or maybe, those kind of stuff. That's what it strikes me as. Last cigarettes are all you can get, turning your orbit around, suggesting your whole life is kind of being flipped upside down. And I think that's a beautiful kind of way of putting something that could be quite sad. I think in this, if you listen to the actual album, Tango Foxtrot Hotel, it's amazing album. I love like the title Jesus etc. as if it's just Jesus is just one of the ways to save yourself, or to believe that you can save yourself, because maybe he's not a real being, or you don't believe in him, so etc etc. What's left? What can we talk about? If we've ran out of Jesus stuff or the Bible, and he talks about, like, the idea of skyscrapers are scraping together, your voice is smoking, all these, it's these kind of imagery that appears to be quite sad, or the idea of an apocalypse, but not quite for everyone, maybe just for yourself, if that makes any sense. So yeah, Jesus etc. by Wilco. If you don't know it, get to know it. All right, bye.